till he squeals, and see what kind of deal you can get for us. And I could see the glow in his eyes. Yes, sir. And over he went. And he came back the next day and said, I could get this truck for $105,000. It won't have a bed on it, and it won't have a snowplow on it, and it won't have a salter. So we took the bed, the plow, and the salter off the old truck. It's waiting to be put on this new one. We're expecting, I checked out this morning, any day now this truck will be in there, delivered to us. So we spent for two trucks $117,500 by going used and using old parts versus $430,000. Or we saved $312,500. The opportunity was there, and we took it. We use seasonal people in our Department of Public Works. We used two of them this year in the summertime, well, where you've got work to do, and in the wintertime is slow time. So you get them less expensive and you don't get the benefits. And so in essence, you're probably paying 50% for the same amount of work. But then we have a problem. We have more trucks than we have drivers. We've been losing people through the highway department for the last couple of years. One of them went to the sewer and water department. One, I guess, retired, etc. So we're short 2 full-time employees to drive the trucks when it snows. So what we do is we use the 2 water sewer operators. And we say, guys, go over and plow the snow when it snows, and don't do your water sewer stuff. And as a consequence, we don't have to have full-time employees year-round. So by working smartly, we've been able to do this, and this will carry on to next year as well. 2 part-time people were forecast or budgeted for the assessor's office for the reval. And instead of hiring 2 part-timers, we used one from the finance department and one from building and zoning office. And we've done that this year. And that's our intent to do the same thing next year. We just lost a part-time person in the building and zoning office, and they're not going to be replaced. And when I get into the debt reduction, we've been in full speed ahead since we have not borrowed money since 2006. We've reduced our debt 52%. And 52% of the principal and interest payments about $350,000 a year. So instead of taking $350,000 from the taxpayer and then just giving it to the bank, we don't need to do that. So these are the kinds of things that the board, working with the department heads, have been doing, and it's been beginning to accumulate real dividends. The assessable base has really not changed at all from 2010 to 2011. I mean, it's very flat because we've not had any building going on. Items to be managed in 2011, there are a few of them. Under abnormal expenses, pension costs are going up 15%. That figure is given to us by the state of New York, and it's because the pension fund evidently lost so much money starting in December of 2008 when the market crashed. Workman's compensation has gone up 20%. It's inexplicable. And I shared that a couple meetings ago. That just is I have a real problem with that one. But it's real. Health insurance is going up at a minimum of 5%. We don't have the number yet, but it is going to go up 5%. Under tax certiorieries, I've been talking for years now about tax certiorieries as being the hidden liability. And we had tax certiorieries that go back to the year 2000. And the people who are challenging the assessment, it's like they're in no hurry to resolve these tax certiorieries during good times. But in bad times, they all come to the forefront. And we have many, many tax certiorieries. And some we're going to try to resolve by negotiating directly and resolving them out of court. Others, we have to get appraisers and lawyer up, and that's going to be a problem, and it's expensive. So I'd say in 2011, 12, and 13, those are probably the 2 or 3 years that we're going to be working on this to resolve many of these. Now we also have to manage some revenue losses, and mortgage tax in 2011 is 61% below the high level, which was in 2006. We had $701,000 of mortgage tax. This coming year, we're talking about $275,000. And the significance of that is that impacts the village. Mortgage tax is what they call a Fund A item. Mortgage tax supports this building, DPW, in terms of the purchase of equipment in the buildings. Okay. It does not include road construction and all that, but it is snow removal, it is cleaning of weeds, equipment in the building. So I'll talk more about that in a moment. Now in grants, in 2010 we've done very, very well, and actually the last few years we've done very well. But in 2011, based on the condition of our nation and the condition of our state, we did not put any grant monies in. That's not to say we can't compete for some, but the likelihood when you're talking about billions of dollars in the hole that the government's going to come down and give us money, until we see those programs, we just are not counting on them. In 2010, the county gave us $287,000 of the $325,000 total that they had for stimulus money, and we used that on Jessup Switch Road. We also FEMA money. We got about $150,000 to $200,000, I don't know exact number, to replace culverts that were damaged back in that heavy snow that I was talking about. So altogether this year, we're probably somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000 that the town has got in either FEMA and or stimulus money. Going back to some other revenue losses, court fines and fees. I can't tell you why, but the court fines and fees are down 21% from what they were budgeted to be. Either people are driving slower, or I don't know. Okay. But the fees were down 21%. Could very well be. If we talk about the 5-year budget also, if we look at what we've been doing in terms of the operation for the last 5 years, we've got over $1 million in grants, by the way. We've replaced 5 gigantic culverts. They're about $150,000 apiece, plus the stimulus money I'm talking about. The next page is revenues, and I've listed all of the sources of revenue that come to the town of Goshen. And we've increased the mortgage tax by $50,000 more in 2011 than it was in 10. Sales tax is still $1 million. It's going strong. Court revenue, we've dropped down a few thousand. Grants, you can see we're not counting any. Fund balances are cash at the end of the year that we can appropriate towards the offsetting taxes. We had $410,000 of cash that we're going to use. The parkland fee account, we look to receive a couple $100,000 there. And then you can see the property taxes is $4,442,000. Now the next page on mortgage tax, you can see the dilemma that the municipality is faced from 2006 to 2011. 2006 and leading up to 2006, we were hovering around $700,000 of mortgage tax every year. In fact, during those times, the village, our tax rate for the village was a negative almost every year. It cost them less this year than it did last year because we were doing so well in mortgage tax. We've increased the amount in 2011 by $50,000. But if you compare 2011 to 2006, it's 52% less. And you can see the cumulative effect of mortgage tax from 2006 through 11. If you use